Hello, everybody. I hope everyone is doing well amidst everything that is happening. I wanted to come on and talk about the war in Israel and some of the things that may be coming up for us as a collective and how to navigate through that. So, one of the first things that came up for me was sadness and powerlessness about the situation, about everybody being affected, and about the fact that the world is still in a state where things like this can happen. And I think powerlessness is one of the main things that can come up around any circumstance that is unwanted. So I feel like this is a real call to awareness, to ask us to look a little deeper to see how we can actually support ourselves, and in doing so, support the situation and support others. So we don't have power over the actual circumstances right now, and we can't take back anything that has happened. But we do have power over our internal world. We have power over our perspective. We have power over how we're seeing things and perceiving this event. We have power over whether or not we allow our hearts to be hardened by this situation, or whether we allow the situation to be the reason why we open our hearts further, why we give more love, why we have more compassion, why we try harder to be at peace, make more effort to be the kind of person that we want to be. So we have a lot of power within us. And I know that it may seem that by exercising that internal power, we're not really affecting the situation outside of us. But that's not true. Anytime that we overcome the capacity within us to judge others and make others wrong, which is a microcosm of what happens on a country to country level when a war occurs, or between one party and another when a war occurs, or when any type of conflict occurs. Underneath that, there's always this idea of my views are correct and I elevate my views above yours. And it can even get to the point where you need to kill off that belief altogether. And so you think that killing off that person or that group of people will eliminate that belief from your reality so that you don't have to deal with that anymore as an opposition to what you believe, because you're not fully grounded in what you believe, and so you feel powerless. And so that whole dynamic happens internally. It happens within us. And so the first thing I started noticing was, where am I judging people? Where am I separating myself and elevating myself? And I started to notice it, quite honestly, everywhere. Once I started looking for it, I started to notice it within my own consciousness, in so many places, in so many ways. And also the same tendency can be used to de-elevate yourself, put yourself below another group of people. So it's a similar dynamic, but just reversed. So what can we do when we notice that within our own consciousness is arising the very things that create these cultural divides within large groups of people? We can do our best to be aware of it. And really that's everything, is just being aware of our own tendencies towards hatred, our own tendencies towards judgment, our own tendencies towards, even you can see it within yourself, self-judgment, the ways that you make yourself wrong, the ways you judge others, of course. You can see this playing out internally over and over and over and over again. And if you allow yourself to be aware of this happening, and if you allow yourself to see it without judging it, to notice it without trying to push it aside or repress it, knowing that this is a part of you, but it's not who you truly are. This is an aspect of your unconsciousness, your behavior that's not fully in your awareness. But as you bring it into your awareness, that awareness will dissolve those tendencies. There's nothing you need to do about those tendencies because those tendencies are already built in. And the more you try to resist them, the more they stay. In the same way that, when you resist another person and their belief systems, they fight back. And so that creates tension, that creates conflict. But to create peace is to allow everything to be as it is. As you allow everything to be as it is, you don't even have to accept it. You simply can create space for it. You can create space for the non-acceptance. You can create space for the sadness. You can create space for the anger, the powerlessness. You can create space for it all without engaging in it and identifying with it and continuing to tell the story without the awareness. So as you bring that awareness to the forefront, what happens is you become more aware at first of all of the tendencies that you have that mirror these worldwide conflicts. And that awareness allows you, if you give space for the awareness and you give space for those tendencies to be, allows you to observe them. And as you observe them, you naturally step away from them because that's not who we truly are. And so it's just a natural process of dissolving these tendencies. So I think a lot of people are feeling very guilty right now that they can't be of more support in terms of action or contributing monetarily. And this is not to say that you shouldn't take action if that feels aligned. Whatever action that you feel that you want to take that action. If it's coming from an aligned place, it will benefit everyone involved. If that guilt is coming from a place of powerlessness, of feeling that there's no way that you can have any contribution to something like this, then I invite you to think again about that. I invite you to think again about the impact that you have within yourself as you work on yourself that trickles out into everybody else, and the impact that can have in the world. Even your thoughts and your alignment alone around peace will support and will assist those in need. And this brings me to another invitation. I'm going to be hosting a guided meditation for peace for Israel tomorrow at 2:30. If you would like the link, just comment below. I'm going to create the invite a little bit later today, and I'll send everybody who comments the link, and I'll post that as well. So I invite you to tune in as much as possible to your own awareness, your own capacity for healing, your own ability to create peace within yourself and with the people around you, to, as much as possible, release any sense of having to do more, releasing any guilt, and allowing yourself to be the light that can help, the light that can mend, that can bring harmony, and that can assist not only yourself, but everyone that you come into contact with. I'm sending you guys so much love today. I'll see you soon, and I hope to see you tomorrow.